All right, so the Marvels just came out. People are seeing it. It's not doing great. Rotten Tomatoes, I mean, whatever that's worth. I mean, I think last time I checked, it was like a 53%, so somewhere around there. I mean, the reviews are not good, you know. And I mean, you have places like what the MCU portal out here shilling it, saying, hey, you know, all the more good reviews for the Marvels, yada yada, just making just bullcrap, just a bunch of BS. Really, I mean, we can see the reviews; they're cherry picking reviews, obviously. But the whole reason I'm doing this video, there are rumors that behind the scenes, Marvel is already set for this movie to basically be a big flop. And like Marvel does, they're going to play the blame game and pass blame to, you know, down the line to actors, Neil DaCosta and so on and so forth. And how are they doing this? How are they going to do this? And mark this video and come back to it, you know, in a few weeks from now, or maybe even less, whenever articles are starting to come out from different places, you know, the typical websites that Marvel, that Disney uses to, you know, to skew the narrative to really like, you know, like, I guess stack the cards in their favor and be like, no, it's not us saying it. It's you know, it's Daily Mail saying it or whatever. I mean, all these typical websites that they use. And who are they going to blame? Well, rumors are, like I've said before, Brie Larson could possibly be blamed. I'm not really even seeing her name as much as I did at first. It's mainly Neo DaCosta, and I'm sorry, the girl that plays Kamala Khan is apparently now being brought up as somebody they're going to try to blame, which is very sad if that's true. Because honestly, I mean, I think this girl, like, she was kind of screwed, like, set up from the beginning. I mean, the Kamala Khan TV show, I mean, garbage writing, you know, and I mean, she's a very young actress. I don't know how old she is, but she's young. Like, this is like the only thing I've ever seen her in, the only role I've ever seen her play. And a lot of people are saying, you know, like credible, you know, non-paid review, people are saying, you know, Kamala Khan, I mean, from the TV show to the Marvels movie, she leveled up quite a bit acting wise. And she was probably the best, you know, the best of the three of the main, you know, leads. And of course the villain. But I mean, you know, we've seen the trailer, so I'm not expecting much from her. But anyway, they, you know, acting wise and everything, like she really did the best. You know, that's what people are saying. And now Marvel, I guess maybe because they need somebody to blame, which is sad. And I feel like because, I mean, Kamala Khan, I mean, season 2, who knows if that's going to happen or not. But I feel like if they're going to blame her for this stuff, maybe they're kind of writing her off. I don't know if she, like, you know, if they've already, you know, because you can't go by anything. I mean, yeah, every show is supposed to have another season, according to if you follow certain things, but there's really nothing like concrete or really behind the scenes saying, hey, they're going to get season 2. So basically, Neil DaCosta, who I guess they don't really plan on ever really working with again or doing business with, that's who they're really trying to blame right now. That's like the main person. Brie Larson at one point was the, like, kind of like right there with her, like the second, you know, like lower down, who they're going to try to, you know, the articles are going to say some stuff about. But now I'm not really seeing that, which makes me think maybe they're going to try to, you know, do more with Captain Marvel down the line. And now instead of Brie Larson's name, you know, you're seeing the girl that plays Kamala Khan. She's right there. I mean, these articles are going to come out, and I hope this, you know, you know, because this could change, because Brie Larson stuff was in there, like, you know, was being discussed like less than 2 weeks ago, you know, whenever things were not looking good. And then as soon as that Variety article came out, Neil DaCosta was like the one that, you know, Marvel had really pivot to, like, they're going to blame her for this, you know, all these articles are going to come out and blame her for this flop. Which even her, I mean, I don't like Candyman. I didn't like her Candyman movie, and I've only seen the Candyman movie really before the Marvels, so that's all I'd really base it on. I don't think she did a good job directing. I'm hearing the Marvels. That is just silly crap. And I mean, she didn't really do a good job directing that either. But I can definitely see, I mean, people are, already be like, well, she left her own project. Yeah, but let's also keep in mind, I mean, this was delayed. This was supposed to be like her working for 2 years that turned into close to 4 years, almost doubled. And I mean, you gotta understand, I mean, that's like her job. So I mean, I get it. Like if I took a job and I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this job for 2 years. You're gonna pay me for 2 years. I'm gonna do this job for 2 years, and then you're like, well, no, actually, we're gonna do it for 4 years. We're gonna keep moving the goalpost. And at some point, if she, able to, I would leave and move on to something else probably eventually. I mean, geez. So I kind of get that on a personal level. I'm not saying she did a good job. I'm not saying she did her job well. And I'm not saying she's a good director. Because, from right now, everything I've seen, and I haven't seen, obviously anything else from her, I don't think she does a good job directing. But I also feel like it's maybe a little unfair for Marvel to pin this all on her. Why are the writers I mean, they're not blamed like they should be. You know why? Because these scripts are approved so far in advance, and there's certain elements that are approved, that are making it into the movie, that are approved, quite a bit in advance by the higher ups. So I feel like if you admit the writing was awful from the beginning, you're almost admitting that the people who approved this, the people who brought, were bringing these scripts and hey, we're gonna do this in this movie, for sure we're gonna make it a da-da-da, whatever. This is gonna be a villain, and all these big plot points that were there from day one that make into the final product. I think if they admit those sucked, and that's a big reason why people didn't like your movie, then you're kind of admitting that you're bad at your job. Honestly, and that's not what they want to do. I mean, they want these articles to come out and paint them in the most positive light possible, because they want people to continue to believe in that leadership. They want the people, the stockholders and so on and so forth. They want them to do that. They want people to believe that Disney's going to do good. This was a mistake on Disney's part, but it's not Disney's fault. It's not Marvel's fault. It's a director's fault, or it's some actress's fault, or what have you. But it's really not fundamentally. I mean, yeah, the actresses can be crappy in the movie. And I mean, if they run their mouth, that's a different thing. I mean, if you're, Rachel Zegler, or Brie Larson a few years ago type of thing, then yeah. Yeah, I could see, yeah, you can blame them then. I mean, Rachel Zegler is probably if you asked people, that are in the know why the Snow White movie is probably not going to do well, they're probably going to say Rachel Zegler. There's other factors too, those freaking weird dwarfs. And it was the same thing with Captain Marvel. Why don't you like the character of Captain Marvel? Brie Larson was the reason then. Even though, the people, I feel like, have forgiven her at this point. And I feel like people have forgiven her, and maybe that's why they've really backed off of trying to play the blame game with her. Or I just kind of assume maybe there's something else going on, and maybe she has other projects in the works for him. And maybe even her appearing in the Kamala Khan TV show, maybe that was kind of almost her doing them a favor in a way, because she didn't have to do that to lead into, I don't know, unless that was just always, something she'd film while she's doing the movie, more likely. But still, for her to do that, that was her playing it in different projects. I felt like they would have to have paid her accordingly for that. So maybe she said, hey, I'll do this for this amount of money, versus, you having to pay me out the butt for me to appear in this show for 2 seconds, because that's the way that works. You got to get paid, even if, you're not really doing a whole lot of extra work. It just depends on what level you are. And at this point, I feel like they think, even though this movie didn't do well, the first movie did do well. So I feel like they're going to be they're probably going to look at well, it's not Captain Marvel, it's not Brie Larson. We can salvage his character, put her on an Avengers team and she'll be fine, right? But then who are the victims here? Kamala Khan, which I feel like was originally meant to be for the Young Avengers. And I feel like there's so many people. I need to do a whole video on technically who all they have set up to possibly be in the Young Avengers, and there's problems with a good amount of them. I mean, a very good amount of these people have issues of some sort, and Kamala Khan is now one of them. She was being set up probably the best. Going from a TV show, into like it was supposed to be a big movie, and they were really trying to set her up. But unfortunately, that didn't seem to work out very well, and I don't know if it's really her fault. I think really we need to blame the writing here. We need to blame the people that are actually in charge of like making these decisions. Because at a certain point, the actress playing Kamala Khan has to do what she's told. She has to basically go by that script. I mean, and she's not out here running her mouth and what have you. So I don't really see her to be at fault for the Marvels failing. I mean, this was kind of screwed from the beginning. Even if she wasn't in the movie, if it was just Captain Marvel 2, I think the movie would have probably been screwed.